Well, I'm very excited to be making this video today to help new NFT collectors or even curious NFT collectors get an insider peek at the Panini blockchain and find out why it is the best place for sports cards and NFT collectors to be. Now, before we jump into this main screen, which is what you're going to see when you log in, I want to touch on the sign up process without going through it because we've all been through 1,000 signups. We understand that drill. The two additional things that Panini will ask from you is a picture of a photo identification card or passport along with a selfie. Now, two of the main things that collectors on the blockchain love the most are security and transparency. And Panini wants nothing less from the collectors that are on the marketplace and the blockchain itself. So, to me, that's a good thing. So, once you complete that quick sign up process and you log in, the one other thing I suggest you do along with the get to knowing the desktop version is download the Panini mobile app because everything we go over today, they also have on the app that you can navigate as well. And it's not a Panini blockchain specific app, it's just the Panini app. And within that, you can select the blockchain. And even if you don't do much on the phone when it comes to this type of stuff, the cool thing about the app is the live notifications. So if you receive an offer on one of your NFTs, or if you're trying to buy an NFT and there's a negotiation going back and forth, or any type of notification when it comes to buying and selling NFTs, that's why you're going to want to have that app because it pops up on your phone and it gives you that immediate access if that's something that's important to you. Okay, now let's dive in to this initial screen because this mimics, if you have a stock account or any type of investment account, that initial screen that sometimes you kind of just need that 30 seconds to go through and you kind of get caught up to speed of everything going on. To me, that's what this is. I log in and I just look at this page, if nothing else, at least once a day. And it just gets me caught up to speed on what's going on with the market, but also what's going on with the market pertaining to my particular specific collection. So I'm going to walk you through how I navigate the Panini blockchain. If you have any other questions, please comment on this video below. I will answer them. If I didn't go into detail on something that you want a little more detail on, again, comment. I will answer those comments. So first things first, it's going to tell us how many NFTs we own. It's going to tell us how many unopened packs we own. Yes, on the Panini blockchain, you can buy packs and keep them. You can rip them at a later date. You can also resell them on the marketplace. That's a big market on here as well. Tells me I've made 2 offers. So let me click on that. And I kind of I like to see what's going on with the offers to see what's been accepted, what's not. So those are my 2 offers right now. And then here's one of the unique things about the Panini blockchain that's pretty crazy. Offers you've received 106 in the last 48 hours. 106. And guess how many of those 106 I have listed on the marketplace? Honestly, I don't know, but I would say 0. I would say I don't have maybe 1. So you get constant offers. That's how liquid this market is too. You get constant offers from collectors when you don't even have your NFT listed on the marketplace. So you can sell it just by clicking this button and reviewing current offers. Like if I did want to sell my Barry Sanders Kaboom, all I have to do is click accept offer. The $300 it is put into my Panini wallet, and then the NFT on the blockchain is transferred to the new owner of that particular NFT. It is that easy. And so every day I kind of like to scroll through here, not necessarily looking at something to sell, but it just generally gives you a good idea of where the current market is for your own collection, for the top cards in your collection. So I scroll through just to see what's going on, get an idea of that. And then I go back to this. And then here again, this big banner right here is also something you want to look at because this tells you about what's coming soon. The new drop. This particular drop is happening Friday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. When this video comes out, this drop would have already happened. But the cool thing about this is you click on it, gives you all the details, $25 a pack, gives you some card set highlights of what to expect in this. And it has the full checklist here that you can view. You just click view checklist and it's going to go to a screen that basically breaks down everything. And if you notice these Cooper Flag cards, and this is Cooper Flag's first card on the blockchain, so this is going to be pretty exciting. you can see these already have offers on them. So just like in the physical world, I think they're called bounties. Like when a new set comes out, someone will say, there's a bounty on this particular card. Whoever pulls it, I'll pay you $50,000 for. Well, you can do that on the blockchain with every single NFT in a new drop. So all of these haven't even dropped yet. It's tomorrow. But you can put an offer in on anything you want to now. So if somebody rips it first thing in the morning, they see your offer, you may be able to buy that and you didn't even necessarily take part in that transaction because you did it ahead of time. Or you can just search the player you want. I mean, again, there's so much information that I could go through on the Panini blockchain because it's so transparent and so in depth. This video could easily go 5 hours, but I'm going to keep it moving. Um, so we'll go back to the homepage and I'll show you the last big thing that I search for when I come on every day. And this is the top, basically the recent highest 6 sales. Now, why it's 6 and not 5 and not 10, I don't know, but it's the top 6. So I'll kind of cycle through them. Not that I have any of these cards, but again, it's just generally you just want to see kind of what players are people spending this money for, what players are hot, what card sets, what years, what series. And then if you want to go more in depth, you click view all and you can see back to the inception of the blockchain. This is all time. So you can categorize the top sales for all time, weekly, monthly, 24 hours. You can also filter it down if you want to a specific sport. You click the sport and you could filter it down to a specific athlete. So you can see what the cards are selling for the particular athlete you're collecting or card set. I mean, if you just look at this activity snapshot on this data dive, and let me put this in perspective. This is all free. This is all this data is completely free. All you have to do is sign up with the Panini blockchain. This is all at your fingertips without even having to buy one NFT. In the physical world, all the apps or whatever's out there that you could possibly pay for every month, regardless of what high tier you're paying for, you cannot get this level of transparency and information. You cannot. And this is all absolutely free, which is mind blowing. And then you click. So I'll show you. So there's sales history, analytics hub, leaderboards, supply dynamics, all with insane data. The two that I usually go to review are the sales histories. And I do like to go to Analytics Hub because Analytics Hub, if you scroll down to the platform sales overview, it just shows you generally where the Panini blockchain was and where it's going. So it just gives you the health of the blockchain community as a whole. So 2025 is just a blowout year, as you can see. And you click the plus, it breaks it down into months. So you can even see how the months are going. If you want to, you can even break it down into the specific days. And one more thing, this is crazy. I have to show this real fast and we're going to get out of here because I can spend 5 hours just on this data dive section itself. If you take your mouse and I was to scroll over any of these data sets, like the $296,520 for September 25th sales, a pop-up window pops up and breaks that number down into how much each sport contributed to that total sales number. For all of you could scroll over unique buyers and it breaks it down to where the unique buyers were buying and what sports they were buying. Any given day, any data set since the beginning, since the inception of the Panini blockchain. It's mind blowing. So let's get out of here before we just find ourselves down a rabbit hole. So we're now back at the homepage. We've gone over this. We understand kind of where we're at. Now let's get into buying and selling. And let's head to the marketplace, select NFTs. Now, I'm actually going to buy one today just to walk you through the process. I'm going to put an offer on one real fast, and we're going to try to sell it. We're going to list it just to show you the process of that. And then lastly, I'm going to show you kind of like the collector's hub, like the page that you're going to go to when kind of piecing together your collection to kind of achieve the goals that you want to achieve when it comes to that. So I don't have a lot of Lamar Jacksons in my collection, which, I should. So I'm going to go to Lamar Jackson. And so you just search Lamar Jackson. And what I tend to do is I start with the base cards on the Panini blockchain. Right now, like a mint count or a total mint count of between 2 to 500 cards or NFTs is generally considered the base card now. And that can be found if you search filters and rarity. Uncommon is a mint count between 2 to 500. So that's kind of my wheelhouse. And then once I collect some uncommon, some like base NFTs, then I'll step up to the rare, and then I'll go to ultra rare, and then maybe epic. Epic is like the out of 10s, out of 25s, and then legendary or the one of ones. So let's go to uncommon um, and apply. And it's going to filter it down. So now we're only looking at basically the base cards. But as you can see, this Lamar Jackson Silver Prism is out of 280. I mean, 280 to me is still pretty scarce considering, comparing it to the physical world. So that's why I like to start with this, because I don't actually think that they're that base. They're pretty scarce to me. So I'm going to go to the 2024 Prism Silver. And so what we're looking at here, and it has a cool little, and I'm sorry, my connection right now is a little spotty. So, usually it's a little more fluid. But what we see on the right side here is a good little snapshot of what this particular NFT is doing. Top sale $4, recent sale $1, average sale $1.15. 4 of them have been burned. So even though 358 were minted, only 354 right now are remaining in supply. Again, it's another perk to the blockchain. These don't increase in population. They have the potential to actually decrease in population. That's another cool factor. So we have a floor price of $4. So if we go down, we see here's all the listed cards with the serial numbers broken out. So if serial numbers are important to you, you're going to want to keep an eye on that as well. And right here, the serial number 180 at 358 is the one for $4, and that is the one currently up for sale. But as we can see, there's a recent sale for $1. And so if we click on total offers, it's going to show us every offer that is out there on this card right now. And they're all for $1. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to buy this one right now for $4 because I still think that's a justifiable price for Lamar. I don't want to disrespect the man. So I'll pay 4. Then I'm going to show you how to put an offer in on, let's say, for $2, or we might do a range offer where we want a particular serial number and we're requesting, and we'll pay a little more for that. And I'll show you both methods to use and some tips and some tricks to go about doing that. There's no tips or tricks on this. It's literally just buy it now. You see $4 is the cheapest one listed on the current marketplace. It's this quick. You either set up a credit card and pay through credit card or PayPal, or you add money to your Panini wallet and you pay through your Panini wallet. You can add that money through credit card or PayPal, or you can add it through with crypto using via BitPay. So you can do that as well. I have a Panini wallet. I just add money and then use it with my Panini wallet. So I'll buy it now. And it's that easy. Congratulations, you successfully completed your NFT purchase. So I now own that particular NFT. So now let's try to get another one, but this time we're going to put an offer in on it because we know I probably overpaid by just a couple bucks, so it's okay. But the last one sold for $1. So when we click make an offer, the first thing we have to do is understand, do we want to do a global offer? Meaning, do we want just an offer to go out to anybody who owns this out of the 354 that are out there in circulation? So it will send this offer to all collectors who have this in their collection. So I could put that offer in for $2 and then I'd be the highest bidder. Or I can do a range offer. So if I wanted the serial number to be, let's say in the first 100, I could do serial number 2 to 99. So this will only submit the offer to any collector who has this particular NFT, but with a serial number between 2 and 99. And then I can click, with this particular one, I did 4 before. Since I'm asking for a more scarce series, I'll start with $2. Why not? I'll still be the highest bid, so I'll do $2. And then this is the last section. It tells you, or it allows you to select how long you want this offer to be out there in the marketplace. So I generally 99% of the time I do 1 day. If I'm in an active negotiation going back and forth with somebody, I'll do like a 1 hour or 4 hours just to kind of put some sort of time emphasis on it. But right now I'm going to do a day. Review and confirm. You select where you want the money to come from. I will select my Panini wallet. Confirm offer. So the offer has been placed. So as of right now, that's all it took. And Panini is sending an offer to every collector who has this Lamar Jackson NFT, the serial number between 2 and 99 with my offer. And all they have to do is click that accept offer button if they want the transaction to take place. That could happen in my sleep. And then I wake up in the morning and says congratulations, your offer was accepted. The NFT is now in my account. They now have the $2. Now, let's say we want to sell an NFT. So I'm going to select the NFT that I just purchased, my Lamar Jackson 180 out of 358. Let's say I want to list this on the marketplace. Click list for sale. Now you want to set the price. Spent, what was it? $4 on it. I don't know. I really don't want to sell it, so I'm just going to put $8. I don't think anyone's going to buy it right now for $8. Section 2, accept auto offers. This is a really, really cool feature because let's say I select I want to put it up for $8, but I'm willing to take as low as $6. So I'll take $6 or $7. This is a way to do that, but not disclose it. So I can do it, I can enter an amount of $6. So Panini is actually going to work for me in this negotiation possibly. So if someone comes on and sees the buy it now price for $8 and they think, you know what, I'm going to try to get this for a little less. And so they put in an offer of $6 or $7. Panini will auto accept that for me. So it doesn't give another seller a chance to accept that offer because they got to it before I was able to see it on my phone or my computer. It will just automatically transact. So as soon as the seller or as soon as the buyer says, I'm going to put an offer in for $6 or $7, they pretty much immediately get a response saying, your offer has been accepted. You got this this NFT for $6, and then I sold it for $6 as well. So they negotiate for you as well. It's a great tool if you want to use that. And then you can set up a custom notification where basically, if you don't want to be flooded with anything like $2, if you're like, I don't want to hear from anybody bidding $2 or $1 or whatever like that, then you just put a higher number in. And then anything below that number, if someone is offering you money on your particular NFT, the notification actually won't come to you. If you kind of want to like declutter what you're seeing, you can do that as well. And then you proceed. It gives you all the information here. They take 5%. And then you click confirm and list, and that's it. Your NFT is listed. So not only is your NFT listed seamlessly, it's that fast. You also have a buy it now that will transact seamlessly if someone does buy it. But then you also basically enabled Panini to negotiate for you. So if somebody else puts an offer in on a number you're comfortable with, below or above that, they're going to auto accept it for you. So, I mean, again, is this not the greatest marketplace for sports card collectors? So that's how you buy, that's how you sell. Now let's take a quick look at the collections hub, which I like to call it, or it's called the Panini wall, just to see what that looks like for us collectors. Now, when I select the Panini wall, this is what you're going to see. It kind of gives you a good framework of exactly what you've collected so far. Kind of puts it into buckets, so you know exactly what you're basically doing. But in my mind, this is kind of the macro. This is kind of like the pull out, the macro version of exactly what this is. If you want to kind of pull in, if you have specific goals in your collections that you want, I like to use what's called the spotlight. When you click on a spotlight, it breaks it up into individual sports, and you come down and you can create these spotlights and put particular NFTs in them to really keep track of maybe specific collections you're trying to do, whether it's card sets, whether it's parallels, whether it's particular athletes. I have just one here to show you. It's a Wemby one, a LeBron one, and a Steph one. And Wemby was the first one I started to collect on the Panini blockchain because rookie cards are kind of what I gravitate towards because the uniqueness of them. But then I just started to understand that everything on the blockchain is unique. Just everything is unique. Everything seems to be scarce. It's so transparent. So then it allowed me to kind of jump into something that I normally wouldn't do, which is just LeBron cards, Steph cards. And so it allows me to kind of keep track of where I am on my collections with those as well. And then when you click them, I haven't done this yet, but I will. I did this with some of my football spotlights, but you can then rearrange these. So you can rearrange them into a way that makes sense for you. So when you go back to review them, you can kind of see exactly where you're at with the collection. Or if you have a particular goal, it just lets you see it. It lets you see it very easily. And you can always update this. You can always edit it, or you can always add to. Um, so I think that this is just a great, and again, this is free. I know there's apps out there in the physical world that you have to pay for to do this kind of stuff to try to get this level of organization. But this can all be done in just seconds and it's all free. All you have to do is sign up to the Panini blockchain and start collecting. Um, Lastly, I'll touch on this, and this is again very unique to the blockchain. This is the game on. This is where you find the challenges and the crafting. So, challenges first. Um, these are where they basically put these are weekly challenges that I'll click on one where they offer 4 different parallels as rewards. And to get these particular parallels, you just have to collect the particular cars that they're requesting in each one of these buckets. And they're tiered. So you can collect just 1, 2, 3, or all 4. If we start with the first one, they're asking you to collect these 7 NFTs. I don't have them. That's why they're black and white. As you collect them, they will turn to color. So by the time this challenge ends, it says in 3 days and 14 hours, if you have these 7 cards in your collection, you don't have to do any call to action or anything like that. You just literally have to have them in your collection. They will airdrop this Kevin Sullivan orange fluorescent parallel into your account. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can go for 2, which is 12 cards. You can go for 3 parallels, which would be 16, or go for all 4 parallels, which would be 20 cards. So if you collected all 20 of these NFTs, then you would get all 4 of those Kevin Sullivan parallels. Now, of course, as you go up, they're going to request that you collect NFTs that are more expensive. So sometimes this can be very pricey. Like there's an out of 25 Lionel Messi they want you to, I won't put Christian Pulisic in that, but it's an out of 25. It's going to cost some money. And I think there's a Holland in here too. Yeah, Holland, Bellingham, Zidane. So I mean, it's going to cost some money. I think what I have done some of these challenges before. I don't do many of them. This is probably a good one to do because Kevin Sullivan's been so hot on the blockchain right now. But the one thing you want to keep in mind is that when a challenge happens, every collector who owns one of these NFTs in this challenge gets a notification on their phone. You have an NFT that's involved in a challenge right now. So typically what happens is people then go reprice those NFTs. And so you're not paying the general market price for one of those base NFTs because people know a bunch of people are going to start wanting them. So they kind of go up in price. So I think a lot of collectors probably try to collect as many of these cards as they can ahead of time so they can get them at a lower price. Excuse me. But just so you know, it can be costly. So maybe just try to win 1 parallel and then go to 2, 3, 4. But I have done them. They are fun. So that is basically it. It probably went even longer than I expected it to go through, and we didn't even go through a fraction of what's possible. But I just want to kind of get you up to speed on what I do, what works for me, just the general things that can get you from point A to point B and to kind of start collecting on the blockchain. And use these video comments as maybe a helpful tool. If you have a question or if you need more help in one of these areas where you're just kind of lost, drop a comment and I will help. Because I think when you watch these types of videos, that's part of the puzzle. And then going through the comments and actually seeing these great questions and having the answers to them is the other piece that really makes these really helpful and unique. Um, so I welcome any type of comment or question that you have out there. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.